Hello there everyone, it's Dove again. I thought I would do an update on my container garden because I'm getting ready to pick my peppers and they're not going to be on here to show you here later on. So I thought I better get this video taken now. And everything's growing really well that's in the containers. You probably need to watch the other video to get an idea of just how much they've grown, because you really can't appreciate this until you've seen the first video and seen how little all the plants were when I first transplanted them all. So not everything's doing well. Like the potatoes, they're not doing very well because I planted them too late. And everything, actually everything was planted really late, but the potatoes are the only thing that is really suffering because of the heat that we had. We had an intense drought for months, and it really did a bad job on my garden. So it's not as good as I'd want it to be, but it's okay, I guess. Can't complain too much. These are the ground cherries, and from the first video you'll probably see that they were only, that big when I planted them. And now they're this big, and they look really healthy, and they're doing really well. And the one thing that I didn't do on some of these plants that I should have done in the beginning, and I knew I should have done it, and I should have just listened to myself, was I didn't put stakes in on some of these plants. And after weeks of drought, we had this really bad storm kick up very suddenly, and hail and everything, and really windy, and it knocked over several of my plants. And so I had to come out here and do an emergency staking on most of these plants. I've just got these. This is the leftover metal conduit that we used to cut down. We cut it down when we were making the shade cloth setup for my cucumbers. And so I had all these various pieces of conduit left over, and it's really not what I'd like to see here, but it was an emergency situation, and it's working out okay. So I've got 2 ground cherries in here, and they're both just tied up to this stake here, and I just used the burlap that was unraveling from all my shade cloth. That comes in handy for twine. If nothing else. I'm sorry if the bugs are too loud tonight. They're really busy today. And it's my tomato, my yellow pear. And it's got several tomatoes there. And it's got another little cluster up here. And these are my pepperoncini. And you can tell that they're ready. That's why I said I've got to hurry up and take this video now, because I've got to pick these. These are definitely ready. There's a little praying mantis there. Can you see him? Hello. Hopefully he's eating the bad bugs. I've had a heck of a time with bad bugs. And these are the other 2 pepperoncini. It's kind of sunny out here. Hopefully you can see this okay. But there's tons of peppers on here and a lot more flowers. So altogether, between my container garden and the raised beds, I think we counted like 190 peppers already. So, and that's not even counting the flowers. So we definitely have peppers. And these are my bell pepper plants. There's some flowers and there's some peppers forming, and they got nice and tall. And that stake that I took out, I regret taking it out, because these are some of the plants that flopped over during that really bad storm, and so I had to hurry and come out here and use these old tent stakes to fasten them because they were falling. And so I just drove these little stakes in there and used that burlap twine and tied them to the stakes. And that was definitely one of my biggest mistakes, was taking that big pole out of here. I should have just left it, even though the veggie rings didn't work for this particular application. I still should have left that stake in there just to have something to tie the plants to, because they definitely needed it. And these are the other ground cherries. These were the runts, and they are almost as big as their brothers. And this one forked at the bottom, so it's going up 2 main branches, and then the other one back there is doing well. And these are actually doing really well. The stems are nice and thick, and the other ones, these don't have flowers. Well, yeah, they have a couple little ones, but the other ground cherries actually have more flowers on them. But again, I just used the burlap twine and tied it to the stake there. And then this was my purple jalapeno. No, this is the black Hungarian, and it fell over as well, so I had to put an emergency stake in here and tie him to it. As you can see, it's got a lot of beautiful peppers and nice purple flowers. They're doing pretty good. And this is a Thai hot pepper, and it has some flowers, but it's not doing much right now. This is the purple jalapeno, and it has a lot of nice little purple peppers on it. And all of my peppers this year are pretty much purple or black. It's pretty funny. And then these are the tomato plants. You can see that they got really big, because when I first planted them and took that first video, I think that they were about that tall, and they've gotten this tall. And there's 4 tomato plants here, and they all have tomatoes on them hiding somewhere. A few of them had blossom end rot, and I had to take them off and throw them away. But hopefully that was just a yucky thing that won't happen again. Because I really want my tomatoes to be healthy. I have a lot of canning to do. I make a lot of salsa when I'm able to, and if I don't have any tomatoes, I'm going to have to go buy some from a local organic farmer, and I don't want to have to do that. But my cucumber plants tanked because of the cucumber beetles, and so today I actually had to go buy a bushel of cucumbers because I wanted to make pickles. So this weather and the bugs have just not been very kind, and I've not been a very happy camper, believe me. And then these are the other peppers that I showed you guys, and if you remember, they were just dinky, at least these 2 were, and they've grown quite a bit. They've caught up with their brother over here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but look at how many peppers are on there. This is definitely the most beautiful pepper plant I have ever seen, because most of them are just normal, you know, everyday variety. This is the Chinese 5 pepper, and it's nice, and it has pretty purple peppers, but it's not even close to being as beautiful as this. This is just a gorgeous plant. These are the Phileas blue, and the little peppers are really yummy, so I've heard. They're kind of hot for me, so I don't eat them, but I've been told that they're quite yummy and not too hot, but it's just gorgeous, and they look really good. So they did eventually bloom out and did really well for me. And these guys are so tall, I didn't realize they were going to get this tall, but they're so tall that they also blew over, or threatened to blow over in that storm, and we've had a couple more really bad wind storms kind of kick up, so I had to stake these guys, unfortunately. These are the only peppers I didn't have to stake, and that's just because they're low growing. And then my potatoes are gone, for lack of a better word. I planted them too late, and potatoes obviously will not make tubers when it gets above 84 degrees. I did not know that until this year, and normally I have my potato plants out early in the spring, and I've never had this problem. But one of the big bags was ready, like last week or a week and a half ago, and it looked like it was ready to harvest, so I took it out and I dumped it out on the tarp, and there was nothing. There was nothing. And apparently I'm not the only one having this problem, but I was really shocked to have that problem because that's never been an issue for me. And so I would be really surprised. I'm just going to let these go on the off chance that there's actually potatoes down in there, but I'm not going to hold my breath because it's been so hot that they take their energy, the excess energy they have, and they store it down into the tubers. Well, they've been using their energy to basically perspire, like we would sweat or whatever, and so the energy did not go down into the root system, and they didn't form any potatoes. So that's pretty much a loss. And then my zucchini, my baby brown zucchini, they're doing okay. They were damaged by the squash bugs, and so I'm just babying them along and not really expecting much. I did get one zucchini off of that plant, and it seems like it shot its wad after that. But I do have a few growing in here, and we'll see how they do. For some reason, most of the fruits would grow and then shrivel, and so I don't know. But I just wanted to give you that update. Hope you guys are doing well. Take care. Bye.